You know what's wild to me? I got a nephew who checks his credit score more than he checks his bank account. Grew up watching his parents stress over that 3-digit number like it was a report card from God himself. And I get it, because somebody sold us that idea. They told our whole generation, good credit score equals financial success. And that is one of the most profitable lies ever told.
Wait, a lie? Come on, Uncle. Credit scores are important. You need good credit to buy a house, get a car loan, rent an apartment.
I didn't say useless, nephew. I said a lie. There's a difference. Sit down, because today we're going to separate what your credit score actually does from what they convinced you it means about your worth.
Okay, so break it down for me, like from the top. What even is a credit score? Because I feel like I learned about it, but nobody ever really explained it.
Right. So a credit score, specifically the FICO score, which is the one that matters most, is a number between 300 and 850. And all it tells a lender is one thing: how likely are you to pay back borrowed money? That's it. It's not a measure of wealth. It's not a measure of intelligence or responsibility. It's a measure of your relationship with debt. Think about it this way. You got a friend who makes $40,000 a year, has 3 credit cards he pays on time, and a car note he's been managing for 2 years. He might have a 720 credit score. Then you got a man who built a business from scratch, sold it for $2 million, paid cash for his house, never needed a loan in his life. His credit score might be lower because he never played the debt game.
Wait, seriously? That actually happens?
It happens all the time. Credit scoring was invented in 1989 by a company called Fair Isaac Corporation, FICO, and it was designed by lenders, for lenders, not for you, not for your community, for the people who lend money to figure out who's a safe bet.
So we've been treating a bank's internal rating system like it's our personal GPA.
Exactly. You just said it better than I could.
Okay, but the score still matters though, right? Like, you need it for real stuff.
It matters for specific things. Let me put it this way. A credit score is like a passport. You need it to get into certain rooms. But having a passport doesn't mean you're wealthy, and not having one doesn't mean you're broke. The problem is, we started treating the passport like the destination.
So what are those rooms it actually gets you into?
Mortgages. That's the big one. If you're going the traditional route of buying a home, your credit score will affect whether you qualify and what interest rate you get. The difference between a 620 score and a 760 score on a $300,000 30-year mortgage can be $40,000 to $60,000 in total interest paid. That's real money. So, yeah, in that context, it matters enormously.
Okay, that's not nothing.
Right. Also, car loans, some rental applications, occasionally employment background checks in certain industries. But here's what it doesn't determine: how much money you make, whether your business succeeds, what your investments return, how much you save, or whether you build actual wealth. People walking around with 800 credit scores who are completely broke. I've seen it.
So where does the lie actually live?
The lie lives in the obsession, in the idea that improving your credit score is a financial strategy. That's where they got us.
Okay, you said they. Who is they in this situation?
The entire credit monitoring industry. Nephew, you understand how much money gets made off of people anxiously checking their credit scores? Credit Karma, sold to Intuit for $8.1 billion in 2020. Credit Sesame, Experience consumer apps, TransUnion's direct-to-consumer products. All of these companies make money by keeping you engaged with your score. And how do they keep you engaged? By making you feel like it's always 1 or 2 moves away from perfect.
And then they sell you stuff.
They sell you credit cards. They sell you loan products. They get referral fees every time you click "You're pre-approved." The business model only works if you believe your score is the most important number in your financial life.
That's actually kind of sinister when you put it like that.
It's not sinister. It's just business. Understanding it is how you stop being the product.
But hold on, people always say, build your credit, like it's step one of any financial plan. You see it everywhere. Financial TikTok, personal finance books, everywhere. So are all those people wrong?
Not wrong, incomplete. Here's my issue. When we tell young people build your credit as step one, we're telling them to take on debt before they even understand cash flow, savings, investing, or income building. We're starting the financial education conversation inside a bank's framework instead of our own.
So what should step one actually be?
Build an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses, liquid, in a high-yield savings account, which right now are still paying around 4 to 5% annually. That's step one. Because if you have no buffer and an emergency hits, you go into debt. Your credit score becomes your lifeline. And now you're trapped in the very system we're talking about.
So the credit score becomes important because you didn't have savings.
Now you're thinking. Credit dependency is often a symptom of insufficient savings, not a financial strategy. You build the cushion first. Then when credit tools become useful, you use them on your terms.
That's a different way of thinking about it. Okay, so when does the score genuinely not matter? Like, give me specific scenarios.
Scenario 1. You're building a business. Your business credit and your business's cash flow are what commercial lenders care about, not your personal FICO, a small business line of credit, an SBA loan, equipment financing. They look at revenue, time in business, and business credit profile, which is a completely separate system that most people don't even know exists.
Wait, there's a separate credit system for businesses?
Whole separate world. Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Business, Equifax Business, different bureaus, different scores. Your personal FICO means almost nothing to a commercial underwriter looking at your business.
That's wild. So you can spend years perfecting the wrong score.
Scenario 2. You're an investor. If you're buying real estate as investments, not as your primary residence, through LLCs, commercial loans, or portfolio lenders, they're underwriting the deal, not just you. The property's income, the cap rate, the market, that's what matters. I know people with average personal credit who own 6 properties because they understood deal underwriting.
In scenario 3,
You decide to live differently. Some people choose a cash-based lifestyle. No debt, no credit, pay cash for everything, including cars. They leave the system entirely. Your score eventually becomes essentially unscorable, meaning it's not bad. It just doesn't exist. That's a valid choice if your wealth is built through other means.
most people aren't there though.
Most people aren't, which is why I don't say ignore your score. I say understand what game you're actually playing before you spend energy optimizing for it.
So if the credit score isn't the main thing, what actually moves the needle? For someone starting out right now,
5 things: income growth, savings rate, debt elimination, not management, investing early, and ownership, in that order of leverage when you're young.
break down savings rate for me, because I feel like people throw that term around.
Your savings rate is the percentage of your take-home income you save and invest every month. Someone making $50,000 and saving 20% is building more wealth than someone making $80,000 and saving 5%. The math always wins. A person who saves and invests 15% of their income consistently, starting at 22, will, based on historical S&P 500 averages of roughly 10% annually, retire with more money than a higher earner who starts at 35. Time is the variable they can't sell you.
And you're saying we focus on the credit score instead of that.
I'm saying we spend emotional energy on the credit score and neglect the savings rate conversation almost entirely. Think about how many apps let you track your credit score in real time. Now think about how many apps send you a weekly notification reminding you that your savings rate dropped this month.
Not the same energy.
Not the same energy. And it's not an accident.
What about debt though? Because the argument for good credit is that you can leverage debt to build wealth. Real estate investors do it. Businesses do it.
True. But there's a difference between strategic debt and consumer debt. A mortgage on a property that generates rental income, that's debt working for you. A $5,000 balance on a credit card at 24% APR because you use credit to maintain a lifestyle, That's debt eating you alive, the same tool. Completely different outcomes based on how you use it.
So it's not that debt is always bad.
Debt is fire, nephew, useful in the right place, devastating in the wrong one. A credit score is your permission slip to access fire. The question is, do you know what you're going to do with it when you get it?
And most people don't.
Most people get the fire and then wonder why things are burning.
Okay, so practically, what should someone do? Like if I've got a 680 score and I'm watching this right now, what's the move?
First, know why it's 680. Pull your actual credit reports, not just your score, from annualcreditreport.com, which is the only federally mandated free source. Look at what's actually on there. Because about 20% of credit reports have errors that negatively affect the score. That's documented by the FTC. Dispute what's wrong.
Before you try to build, clean up what's already broken.
Exactly. Second, if you need to improve for a specific purpose, like you're buying a house in 18 months, then you optimize toward that goal. Pay down revolving balances below 30% of your credit limit. Credit utilization is 30% of your FICO score. Don't close old accounts. Don't open new ones right before applying. That's it. It's not complicated.
And if there's no specific goal,
Then your energy belongs somewhere else. Work on income. Work on your savings rate. Learn about index fund investing. Build something. Your credit score will maintain itself if you're not doing anything destructive with it.
so it's not ignore it, it's just don't worship it.
Don't worship it. That's it. It's a tool in your toolbox, not the whole shop. Here's what I want you to take away from this conversation. The financial system, credit scores, credit monitoring, debt products, that whole infrastructure was built to serve the people who provide capital, not the people who need it. That doesn't make it evil. It makes it something you need to understand before you participate in it. When you know what a credit score actually measures, what it's useful for, and what it doesn't tell you about wealth, you stop optimizing for someone else's metric and start building toward your own.
I think the thing that shifted for me is realizing the score was designed for them to assess us, not for us to track our progress.
That's the insight right there. The day you stop asking, what does my credit score say about me? And start asking, what does my net worth say about my decisions? That's when the game changes.
Man, I came in here thinking I needed to hit 800. I'm leaving thinking about my savings rate. Those are two completely different conversations.
And now you know which one actually matters.